Someone who has been the president of the United States for 4 years, and none of the awful consequences that you intimate came to pass during that time, although he was buddies with the guy who runs North Korea, and he was willing to talk with Putin in ways that people thought was inappropriate, and so on. No, I was just going to ask about whether you would be inclined to rethink anything, to reckon that you might have been wrong about something, and more broadly, whether the Democrats would be inclined to read in the tea leaves any repudiation of themselves. This is not just about Trump. There are two parties contending here. Whether should this come to pass and Orange Man Bad return to the White House as the 47th president of the United States, whether there isn't any profound lesson to be learned for the Democrats about the failures of how it is that they're approaching the American electorate. For example, has wokeness had too big a sway on them? Did their casual attitude toward protecting the country from an invasion of unauthorized entrants cost them an election? Is the contempt that's shown for the people who actually support Trump, and that was evidenced by the most recent faux pas where the President Biden, it was heard to say something about Trump supporters being garbage. He walks it back.
And Glenn, I want to say very quickly that he certainly did call them garbage. There's been all of the business of the supposed apostrophe that's in there. The only garbage is that of his support. That is not what he meant if you listen to the intonation. So yes, that was a horrible gaffe. Go ahead. Or a horrible thing to say.
It's emblematic of what he actually thinks, and more
Yes,
broadly of what the party actually thinks, and perhaps even
Yes,
what
it
you
is.
think.
Frankly, I'm perplexed by the depth and the fervor of his support. I genuinely would not say, however, that it makes the people garbage. I don't
America
think that.
first, okay? I want to put America first. Is that racism? Or is it a appeal to a visceral need in the American public, in a majority of the American public, or a substantial plurality of it, to have their concerns taken seriously, and so on? I mean, this attitude that, oh my God, what's happening to us? Our country is being hijacked by this bad man, strikes me as both historically inaccurate, but more to the point as a deficient electoral strategy. And,
Well, the America First business with, the tinge of racism, let's say that was Pat Buchanan. If Pat Buchanan were about to become president, that wouldn't be my favorite thing, but I would completely understand that the America First idea would appeal reasonably to voters depending on what their life situation was, or even just because of a certain America First streak. I remember, I never quite understood why we were so committed to Yugoslavia, as it used to be called. I remember back then thinking, why that as opposed to so many things that we could be doing here at home? And I know there were larger issues to be concerned with, but I get America First. But with Trump, the issue is, and I don't think anyone needs to be told this, but we're talking about a Pat Buchanan who would also attempt mass deportations of people for reasons, most of which, to me at least, make no sense, who promises that he's going to go against his enemies, including the ones in the media, making life difficult for people just because he's angry at them. This is somebody who talks about the people he wants to deport, also Democrats in general, as we're the problem within. We're the enemy within. So the immigrants are vermin, but then there's this enemy within that's out to get him, that is basically destroying our country. That's the way a president feels coming in, and then also getting himself pardons, and then also, and this would not be Pat Buchanan, cozying up to dictators in places like North Korea and Russia, and depending on how you want to call China, but really Trump likes those people's style.
These are Democratic Party talking points, John.
No, but Glenn,
there your lack of imagination.
No, these are things that he's said and done.
Cozying up to dictators? Come on, man. Isn't
that an objective statement? Look at he loves Putin's style.
It's an extremely pejorative characterization of developing a relationship with foreign leaders, cozying up to dictators. He wants to talk to Putin. That's cozying up to a dictator.
He's
I mean,
praised
yeah, I've
Viktor
heard it on
Orban in Hungary.
MSNBC, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised at you, Joe.
Viktor Orban in Hungary.
He's the president of Hungary.
Praises him. He approves of somebody who a great many Europeans
What about
consider
Narendra Modi of India?
a scourge. I've never heard him say anything about Modi, but to tell you the truth, I'll bet that many of the things that at least I would wish Modi had not done or said are things where Trump would think, no, he's taking care of business. He's a good, strong man. And I don't feel like I'm expressing opinion here. I'm just talking about things that Trump has said and done, which I find incommensurate with somebody who's going to be the president of the United States. You don't.
Someone who has been the president of the United States for 4 years, and none of the awful consequences that you intimate came to pass during that time, although he was buddies with the guy who runs North Korea, and he was willing to talk with Putin in ways that people thought was inappropriate and so on.
Yeah, but then he had
didn't fall.
But he had people holding him back, whereas this time he's going to have people who are all for him. He's not going to make that mistake again. Not to mention,
again, it's a failed talking point that you're uttering here in an election that, should your worst fears come to pass, it will have been shown not to be effective.
But the thing is, I'll give you this. He's so disorganized and so inwardly focused that I don't think he would be capable of focusing on all of his talking points and actually getting all of them done from A to B to C. That soothes me a little bit. Nevertheless, if he said he's going to do these things, if he's presented himself as having those intentions, I would feel that you're not supposed to put him in the White House. No?
No, I don't agree with that.
And notice I'm not saying that he's in Russia's pocket or anything like that. I find all of that a little dramatic. But it's just his idea that he's looking at what Vladimir Putin does and admiring it. I don't get it.
You can see Kamala Harris across the table from Vladimir Putin effectively dealing with him. I can't.
No. There's only so much there. But I hate to say it. It now is considered highly irritating to say it. Anything but him. She'll at least run the story.